सर्ववेदांत सिद्धांत गोचरं तमगोचरं गोविंदं परमानंदं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। विवेकचूडामणि श्लोक 130 अहंकारादिदेहान्ताः विषयाश्च सुखादयः वेद्यन्ते घटवद्येन नित्यबोधस्वरूपिणा। In these verses, the author is describing the Atma. The Atma is Chaitanya, consciousness. Nityabodhaswarupi. Bodha means consciousness. Bodha is nitya, eternal. Nityabodhaswarupa or Nityabodhaswarupi is Atma. That means anything which is not Nitya and anything which is not Bodha is not Atma. Generally, we identify with the body, the sthula sharira, or the sukshma sharira. Both sthula sharira and sukshma sharira are anitya. They come and go, and they are abodha, not consciousness. Jada. Because they are the objects of knowledge. They are objectified by the Atma. Ahankaradidehantaha. Starting from ahankara, ahankara is the mind. Mind is the seat of I thought. Therefore, it is called ahankara. Ahankara adi, starting from the ahankara up to deha, up to the physical body, up to the sthula sharira. They are all vishayaha. They are objects. They are objects of knowledge. Sukhadayaha, and the experiences that happen in the mind and in the body. Sukha, pleasure. Pleasure is an experience. Every experience is a modification in our mind. Sukha as well as dukkha. And all other emotions. They are modifications of our antahkarana, our mind. Therefore, even they are anatma. Being anatma, they are jada, insentient, ghatavat, just like a pot. As much anatma as a pot, ghatavat. येन नित्यबोधस्वरूपिणा वेद्यन्ते. They are all vedyante. They are known. They are the objects of knowledge. And who knows them? Nityabodha Swarupi. The Atma who is Nityabodha Swarupa. येन नित्यबोध स्वरूपिणा अहंकारादिदेहान्ताः विषयाः सुखादयश्च विषयाः घटवत् वेद्यन्ते सः आत्मा. 131. एषोऽन्तरात्मा पुरुषः पुराणो निरन्तराखण्डसुखानुभूतिः सदैकरूपः प्रतिबोधमात्रो येनेषितावागसवश्चरन्ति. एषः अंतरात्मा. The Atma is the innermost self. Antaratma or Pratyagatma means the innermost self. Atma is the innermost. It should not be understood spatially, because As far as space is concerned, Atma is Sabhahyabhyantara. He is present inside as well as outside, all pervasive in space. Yet, Atma is innermost. How innermost? This should be understood properly. Everything that is objectified is outside. That which cannot be objectified is inner. For example, the table in front of me is object. I am the seer, the knower of the object. Therefore, I can say, I am inside, object is outside me. The object is outside. Likewise, our body is also outside because it is object. Being object, it is outside. So is our mind out. Then there is one thing which cannot be objectified. Therefore, it cannot be out. It is always in the consciousness. Chaitanya. Therefore, Chaitanya is referred to as Antaratma or Pratyagatma. Eshaha Antaratma. Further descriptions of Atma, Purushaha. There are two meanings of the word Purusha. Number one, Purishete iti Purushaha. He dwells in the body. Puri Sharire Shete. He resides in the body. Therefore, Purusha. Number two, Purnatvat Purusha. He is complete. Therefore, Purusha. Both meanings can be taken here. Both meanings are true with reference to the Atma. It is Purna and it resides in the body because it is available in the body. It is manifest in the body. Puranaha. पुरा अपि नव एव इति पुराण. It is pura, old as well as new. Nava. Old and new at the same time. It is not possible with anything in the world. Something which is old cannot be new. Old is old and new is new. But Atma is old and new at the same time. In fact, Atma is ever old and ever new. How is it possible? We have to understand the meaning of old and new. Old and new are with the reference to a given point of time. Let us take the present moment. If something is old at the present moment, that means it existed much before this present moment. It existed long back. Then it is old. It existed 10 years back and it is present now. Then it is old. Atma is old at any point of time. This computer is old at this point of time, but it was not old 5 years back. Then it was new. But Atma is old at any point of time. You take any point of time, Atma existed before it. Therefore, ever old. And ever new also. New means it has not disintegrated. It has not lost its value. Then you call it new. Atma is ever new because it doesn't disintegrate. It doesn't lose its value at any point of time, whether past, present, or future. Therefore, ever old and ever new. Therefore, Puranaha. Nirantarakhanda sukhanubhutihi. Atma is nirantara. Antara means gap. Nirantara, no gap. Vivekachudamani session. Between one Vivekachudamani session and another Vivekachudamani session, there is a gap because it doesn't happen 24 by 7. It will stop after a few minutes. Then for the next Vivekachudamani session, you wait for 1 week. There is gap. There is antara in terms of time. It doesn't happen with the Atma. Now there is Atma. After some time there is no Atma. Again there is Atma. It doesn't happen so. Therefore, in terms of time, Atma is Nirantara. And so is in terms of space. There is no gap in space. Atma is present everywhere in space. All pervasive in space. Akhanda, free from parts, free from divisions. Atma cannot be divided. Sukha, happiness. Atma is happiness in nature. Sukha Swarupa, Ananda Swarupa, and Anubhutihi, consciousness, Chaitanya. These are certain descriptions of the nature of Atma. Sadaika Rupaha, always Ekarupa, Sada Ekarupaha. In this world, things don't remain as they are. They keep changing. There are modifications. It is true with every object in the world. Every object in the world is a variable. Even our relatives are variables. Relations are variables. They don't remain the same. Wealth is a variable. Every minute, the value of your property, your money keeps changing. It's a variable. And so is our body. Keeps changing. And so is our mind. Keeps changing. Anything that is subject to change is unpredictable. there is a degree of unpredictability in everything in the world. And we cannot rely on the unpredictables. It is not wisdom to rely on the unpredictables. Then what should one rely on? That which does not vary. That which does not change. The constant. There is only one constant. That is Atma. Therefore, our objective is to learn to rely on Atma, to hold on to Atma. That is the only way to be free from problems. Sada ekarupaha, always uniform. Ekarupaha. Rupa is form, eka, one, uniform. Means nirvikaraha ityartha. It does not change. Free from modifications. Therefore, most reliable, pratibodha matraha, many people ask question, how to experience the Atma? The answer is Atma can never be experienced because all experiences are illumined by the Atma. Atma is the illuminer of all the experiences. Being the illuminer of every experience, Atma cannot be experienced. The question, how to experience the Atma, is like asking how to illumine the light. Light cannot be illumined. You cannot bring one light and illumine another light. It is not possible. Likewise, Atma is the illuminer of every experience. An experience is a modification in our mind. And Atma is the witness of every experience. Therefore, Atma never becomes experienced. Atma never becomes object of an experience. Then how to know the Atma? When does the Atma become evident? How to make the Atma evident? The answer is Atma is always evident. As the very illuminer of every experience. As the illuminer of every experience, Atma is evident in every experience. Just like as the illuminer of every object in the room, the light is evident in every object. You don't have to see the light separately. You don't need another light to illumine the light, because the light is evident as the very illuminer of every object in every object. Likewise, Atma is evident as the illuminer of every experience, in every experience. Pratibodha matraha. Bodhe bodhe miyate iti pratibodha matraha. In this word, bodha means an experience. Bodhe bodhe, in every bodha, in every experience, Atma is evident. Therefore, you don't need an experience to know the Atma. You don't need a special experience to make the Atma evident. It is always evident, ever evident. Yeneshita vagasavascharanti. Atma is the impeller of all faculties of our body. Vak, Vagindriya, the sense of speech, and Asavaha, Pranaha, the pranas, and all other senses. They all work as though being impelled by the Atma. Yena ishitaha means yena preritaha, being impelled by the Atma, Vak, Vagindriya, Asavaha, Pranaha, Charanti, they work. Nothing can work without the blessing of Atma. Atma itself doesn't do any action, but no action can happen without the blessing of Atma. अत्रैव सत्त्वात्मनिधि गुहायाम् अव्याकृताकाश उरुप्रकाशः आकाश उच्चैरविवत् प्रकाशते स्वतेजसा विश्वमिदं प्रकाशयन्. Where is the Atma located? Where can we find the Atma? Should we look for the Atma in the space or in the other world? The author says, you don't have to look anywhere outside. Instead, look inside. Atraiva. Atraeva. In this body, the Atma is available. The Atma is evident in this body. Though the Atma is present everywhere, it does not become available everywhere. It is available in our body as the consciousness that illumines the body. Atra eva, atraiva sharire, asminneva sharire, referring to sthula sharira. In the sthula sharira, there is a sukshma sharira. Sattvatmani dhiguhayam. Dhiguha. Dhi means buddhi, the intellect, the mind. It is guha. In Vedanta, the mind is referred to as guha because that is where The Atma is hiding. It is the hiding place of the Atma. It is hiding within, in our mind. Dhi guhayam, buddhi guhayam. It's not hiding anywhere far away. It is hiding within. Therefore, easy to locate. There is an adjective to dhi guhayam, sattvatmani. Buddhi is a sattvika in nature. Though buddhi is made of three gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas. It is predominantly sattva. Therefore, sattvatmani, sattvaswarupe. And in the Sukshma Sharira, in the Antahkarana, in the Buddhi, there is the Karana Sharira. Avyakritakashe. Avyakritakasha refers to Karana Sharira. Maya. So these three shariras, Sthula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, and Karana Sharira. As the illuminer of these three shariras, as the witness of these three shariras, the Atma shines. Atma is evident. Uruprakashaha. It is very much effulgent in nature. Being Chaitanya, it is effulgent. Uruprakashaha Atma. Akashe uchchaihi ravivat prakashate. Akashe uchchaihi ravivat. An example for how the Atma shines in the space, in the sky. Uchchaihi ravivat. The sun which has gone up in the sky at noon. The sun is right above our head. Most effulgent. Akashe uchchaihi ravivat Atma prakashate. Atma shines in our body. Swatejasa vishwamidam prakashayan. And with its light, Swatejasa, with its shine, with its consciousness. Idam Vishwam Prakashayan. It illumines everything here. Idam Vishwam. All these, all the objects, Prakashayan, illumining, it shines. The Atma is the most effulgent consciousness which is evident by itself, self-evident, and it is responsible for making everything evident. ज्ञाता मनोहंकृति विक्रियाणां देहेन्द्रिय प्राणकृत क्रियाणाम् अयोग्निवत्ताननुवर्तमानो न चेष्टते नो विकरोति किंचन. Atma, being consciousness, is the witness of all the modifications in the body and mind. Manohankrati vikriyanam jnata. The knower, jnata, the witness of all the modifications of manaha, manas. Manas is one faculty of the antahkarana, the emotional faculty of the antahkarana. And ahankriti, the identification faculty of the antahkarana. Ahankara. So manaha and ahankriti are two faculties of the antahkarana. There are two more, buddhi and chitta. Buddhi is the intellectual faculty and chitta is the memory faculty. We can include all four. Manaha, buddhi, ahankara and chitta. These four together constitute antahkarana, which we generally call mind. The mind has so many modifications. Vikriya. The mind is ever changing. Every moment there is a new thought. There is a new idea. There is a new feeling. Every thought, every idea, every feeling, every emotion is a modification in the mind. Who knows them? Who witnesses them? It is the Atma. Manohankriti vikriyanam jnata. Dehendriya prana kritakriyanam jnata. Also, Atma is the knower of all the activities in our body, in our senses, and in our prana. The witness of the modifications and functions of body, senses, and prana. The body, mind, and senses and prana, they are always changing. Atma is the illuminer of their changes. The changes are illumined and Atma is the illuminer. The relation between the body and Atma is the relation between illumined and illuminer. Knower and known, or illumined and illuminer. The author gives a beautiful example to explain the relation between the body and the Atma. The example is red hot iron. The blacksmith, when he has to give a new shape to the iron, he heats up the iron rod and it becomes red hot. Red hot iron rod. This red hot iron rod has two things: iron and fire. It's a combination of two things. Iron is responsible for the redness and heat. Fire is responsible for the redness and heat. And iron has the shape. Fire doesn't have shape. Iron has the shape. Likewise, the body and Atma. When I say body, it includes Sukshma Sharira also. Sthula Sharira and Sukshma Sharira. The Sharira. Sharira and Atma. They are two different things, but seems to be one. One single entity. Just like red hot iron. The sentience in this body is because of Atma. because the body is a jada. It doesn't have the ability to know. Just like the iron doesn't have the ability to burn. The ability to burn is the fire, is from the fire. Likewise, the sentience in the body is because of Chaitanya. When someone touches the iron, he gets his hand burned. Then he says, the iron burnt my hand. Iron cannot burn. It is the fire which burns. But that is superimposed on the iron. Likewise, the sentience in the Atma, the ability to know in the Atma, is superimposed on the body and mind. Likewise, the shape of the body, the modifications in the body are superimposed on the Atma. Atma doesn't have shape. Atma doesn't have limitations. Atma doesn't have modifications. All the modifications of the body, the shape and size of the body, the movements of the body, they are superimposed on the Atma. That is why whenever there is an action in the body or in the mind, we say, I am doing it. I means Atma. I think, I feel, I breathe, I work, I speak. All the activities are in the body. They are superimposed on the Atma. Therefore, the author says, Ayognivattan anuvartamanaha. Just like the fire in the iron, the fire in the iron rod, the Atma seems to follow the body, mind, and senses. Seems to have the properties of body, mind, and senses. Seems to undergo modifications when the body and mind are undergoing modifications. But in reality, Atma is free from all modifications. Na cheshtate no vikaroti kinchit. Na cheshtate no vikaroti kinchana. Atma na cheshtate. It does not do any action. Why no action? Because no modifications. No vikaroti. There is no vikara in the Atma. There is no modification in the Atma. It is nirvikaraha. yet seems to undergo modifications because of the modifications of the body, mind, and senses.